So my name is Paul Pendergast. I am the chairman of a soil health initiative group called Phish, which stands for People Helping Improve Soil Health. We are comprised currently of 6 counties: Vigo, Sullivan, Clay, Putnam Green, and our newest member county, Morgan. Our main goal is to promote soil health in our communities and around our neighboring counties, and by doing that, we do site visits, we hold workshops, and hand out educational flyers and pamphlets to help better the population learn about the soil health and the things that they're walking on every day. To date, we have done 45 site visits, and that is all reimbursed through the grant in which we are funded through. So those funds go into an account, which we then use and distribute for things like workshops and educational materials. We have done a composting workshop in the past, partnering with Indiana State University. Through them, we were able to utilize their community gardens and have about 6 to 7 different areas where you'd go to learn about different aspects of soil health, such as composting, termination of cover crops, as well as soil microbials. Here in the next few months, we will then also plan on doing other informative workshops throughout our counties, not just Vigo. Regardless if you're a farmer or not, when you go to your store and you pick up any type of produce, any type of food, normally it's grassroots, no pun intended, comes from the soil. So the meats that we eat is normally those animals feed through produce that comes through the soil. So having and promoting a good soil health means good produce later, in terms of your dairy products, your meat products, your produce, and even your grains like cereals and other sweets that we may consume on a daily basis. Mainly to date, we've done a lot of site visits in terms of soil sampling. And that will be on basis of people calling saying their tomatoes aren't growing, or they find a foul smell from their yard, or they knew that a big storm had hit and had a lot of tree damage that fell in their yard, and maybe now their soil has come to a lot of decomposition under the soil, which is now causing a lot of things not to grow. So we'll go out there, do soil sampling, send those samples off to a lab, and then those labs will send us back from a crop specialist giving us a nutrient management plan to help better manage your soil and what you can do to either increase or decrease certain nutrients, your pH or your cation exchange capacity. Basically, whatever we find when we do that initial soil sampling, we'll try to give recommendations on how to fix it. We focus on small and urban farmers, which does not limit to landowners with their own private gardens. We do try to cap that at small farms, so we won't do big ag practices. We won't come to big ag fields. We try to limit around an acre or less, but that's a very flexible, amount. Normally we would look at small farmers. They're growing either for themselves in their community or for like at a farmer's market, or they're just growing on a small scale for educational purposes, like at schools. ISU and DePaul both have community gardens that they use for educational purposes. So we were targeting more people like that. The bigger ag operations, they already have more help through like the federal and state levels. So this is kind of for the smaller people who might not have a voice in what they do, but yet it's still very important because we look at it as they're helping their communities directly.
So this would be good for people who maybe have a roadside stand in the spring and summer?
Yes, I think it would be perfect for them, especially if they have any inquiries about their soil health or any inquiries in general about how they can better their growing process and better their produce. So we offer 2 free samples per site, per person. Anything after that, we ask that they do pay for. We have a fund of money that we use to pay for this, and then we can also, if they want to go farther from nutrient test management and look at things like lead testing or heavy metal testing, we have great labs that we can recommend that they go through with that. And due to the variety of different kinds of tests available, we normally like to let the landowner or individual choose those types of testing themselves. Anyone who is more interested, this was a group that was started in early 2020, and we have been struggling through the pandemic's rises and falls to get established. But we're still fighting. We're still trying to get out there. This summer, we are trying to go to a lot more farmers markets. So if you want to meet us, come to one of our neighboring counties. We'll hopefully be there with a stand to give out more informationals and stuff like that. We really want to make this the year where we come out and become more of a local name in our communities. Normally when we go and help these people. It's the initial site visit slash soil sampling, or we could just come out and do a nutrient management plan or a soil health plan, depending on whatever the resource concerns are. But this process, it's normally done the day of, and we are in constant contact with you. The more people we build with this group, the faster we can get things done, because we're adding more expertise into our group. But the longest thing that we probably have to do is the soil sampling and getting results back, and that's just dependent on lab times, and that can be anywhere from a week to 2 weeks until we'll have the nutrient management plan that you want, and you can go forward with your land. All soil is the same. Our the head of the Usher program, which is who grant funds our Phish group, she actually has a plot of land that is on maybe 5 by 10 in her backyard, and she is growing so many different things. So just having a small area of good soil health can lead to so much produce that you can, have for yourself or your family. And it's also just a great educational for your kids or for anybody that might have questions. And, you could be the person that people go to and with any questions that you have with soil health, just from learning about your little plot that you have. We do work for the county government on a lot of levels. Some of our partners work for the federal government. So we're not coming out there and signing any paperwork, or you're not signing your name away in any way, but we're just coming out to do any recommendations on issues that you find you have on the soil. You got to remember, you're the biggest expert with your land soil, even though we might know what we're talking about because you've lived there. You know what that soil has gone through, and you know what you want to do with that soil. We just ask that you put your trust in us to come out there and give you the recommendations that you're searching for. The biggest thing that people find is they are producing vegetables, or they are producing produce and fruits in good ways, flowers, but they'll notice that their leaves are browning a little bit, or there's holes, or they are curling a little bit inwards toward their plant, and normally that is just due to lack or excess of nutrients. And we have many ways that we can go about this, like crop rotation and all these kinds of things that can help with that. And just these little amendments can lead from a normal good yield to an exceptional yield. And you'll be like, wow, just from a little extra fertilizer, or planting a different plant in here that has really good chemistry with another plant can really provide amazing results. And you're planting even more to begin with. And doing this process over and over just keeps adding to the nutrient cycle that's happening in your soil. So we recommend doing this because you should see results even after your first year. Yes, it is the perfect time to call us. Like I said, any of our counties that are affiliated with us, we would love to take your call. Any questions that you have. If you would like a site visit, you can always be there with us, walk the property with us, or we can do it during your work hours. We are very, very flexible, and we are just here to serve the community members as much as we can with, in my opinion, a group that has been very well needed in our community for many years. So if you would like to get involved with our group, we are actively accepting partners. Just drop us a line or drop us a call at any of our SWCDs in the counties that I mentioned before. We can get you set up and invite you to our next meetings. Normally, with how everything has been recently, we do a lot of Zoom meetings, or we can give you the Zoom option if you're uncomfortable meeting face-to-face yet. And then if you're just interested in our help and our resources, again, give us a call. We can set up an appointment to do site visits or talk on the phone and get you more resources to help better your issue that you're having at your residence or on your land.